Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handi Scandi. Welcome back for another crafty venture. And welcome to my stop on the This is Valloween video hop for February 2024. These are some of my new crafty friends that I'm hopping along with. So if you're starting on my channel, make sure that you go back and you see all the other videos because there's so much creepy, bloody Halloween, Valloween goodness. Now, if you are unaware, Valloween is a mashup between Halloween and Valentine's Day, of course. So concepts such as Bloody Valentine and things like that kind of ring true for this version of Valentine's Day. So you can see that I am making another large tag. I made one just recently, and I thought that Valloween would be a great reason, if you will, to create another one. So I started out with a very large tag. This again is from Dina Wakley, and I will have everything linked and listed downstairs. And this pattern paper was recently gifted to me, and I thought this might be a really good base for the start of this card. No, it's actually, or this tag. It's actually going to be the back of the tag, but I thought it would be a really good way to add a nice clean back to the tag, but also be able to use this fun, very unusual pattern paper. So I start out by using a couple background stamps just to add some interest and some texture and some dimension to both the card front, or the tag front and the tag back. And I heat emboss that with a white embossing powder, and then I go back with a couple more stamps and I do the same thing. Now you can see that with these stamps I am not trying to get a full stamped image. I'm just rolling it around, just trying to get little bits and pieces here and there, again just to add interest and to kind of create the background, if you will. So I have the damask, and then I did a vintage script, and now I have this piece of scroll work. It's like a filigree. And once I get all the embossing powder on there and get it all nice and melted and heat embossed, you'll see that there's just so much texture with these different patterns going on and some splash marks, and it's just very interesting. And you can do this with a Valloween theme, with a Halloween theme, with an Easter theme, whatever kind of theme that you want to create. This is just a really fun and relatively easy way to get some great visual and physical texture on your project. So I put them in my splat box, and I'm spraying both sides with some distressed spray stains as well as some mica stains in shades of gray, shades of red, and then of course black soot. Now I do add just a little bit of water once I get all of my pigment down, but I just leave these alone all day just to dry. And I allow the colors to blend and mix and merge however they want. And this is what they look like when I got home from work at the end of the day. And then I'm taking a clean soft cloth, and just buffing any excess wet pigment that's still on top of the embossing powder. So just wipe all of that off on both sides. And then I lifted the reinforcement hole on the back just so that pattern paper can lay down nice and neat. And then of course you can see that I put glue all over the back of the tag, and I'm adhering them together. And then again I just leave them to dry completely, and then I come back and you can see all the shine and the texture and the dimension and the goodness. And I just take these big old scissors and I trim off any excess so that the background paper, or the back side of the tag, which is the pattern paper, I'm getting all my words confused, which is normal. We're used to that, right? But anyway, I get it all trimmed down so it matches the tag, and then I put new reinforcers on both sides, and I just use black. And then I pull out this beautiful stamp set from All in Create. It is one of my all-time favorites in my stash, as well as from All in Create, and it is the Memento Mori. Now I stamped it and I heat embossed it in black, and then I went over and over and over the blood splatter on the eye. I used a variety of different heat or embossing powders. I used a bright red, I used a brown red, I used a red glaze, and none of them would give the depth of red that I wanted over the black. So as you can see, I have a plan here. I've got a circle die. I'm going to die cut around the skull, but I wanted the drips to drip independently. I didn't want them to be a part of the circle. So you can see I'm fussy cutting them out, but I'm not being too fussy. I'm not being too fussy. I just want them to hang independently outside of the circle. So I will use that circle die, and I'll do a little bit of partial die cutting. You can see how I was kind of auditioning it there. And here I have everything together, and I did make a boo-boo, and I'll show you when it's more visible on the screen. But in order to do my partial die cutting, what I do is lift the drippies so that they don't go under the die cutting blade. So you can see that I was just lining the circle up so that it would go around the skull evenly, but the blood drips are outside of the blade on the frame. And so now you'll see what I mean. There, see how the blood drips drip independently, and they just kind of interrupt that circle border. And where I just pointed, that's my boo-boo. I did not mean to cut so deeply onto that circle because it just looks kind of weird, but I feel like I cover that up here in a little bit. So there you can see some of the red is showing a little bit more because I've played with that over and over and over. But then I remembered I have my Irresistibles. This is a colored texture spray from Imagine Crafts, and it is glorious. If you need some fake blood, you need Irresistible spray in Love Letter. I mean, wait until you see this finish. Now, you don't want to get it too thin because then it has more of a kind of a lighter red, transparent look to it. But when it's that deep, dark, thick red, it is the perfect blood. And you can see how well it's splattered, and I add a lot more splatter. And I'm also trying to move it around a little bit with my paintbrush, as you can see, and not quite as happy with that. That's where I realize how much more light the red is when it's thinned down like that. But look at that. And it looks all congealed and bubbled, and oh, it's just beautiful. So I have to add the Love Letter splatters to both the front and the back of the tag. And then I do the same with the black Irresistible, and black is called, what is the black called? Is it just black? Oh, it's Tuxedo Black. And then I use some white, which is a white acrylic ink from my stash. Now, unfortunately, the white it didn't bleed, but it absorbed some of that red color. So those white splashes end up being more pink. But it's okay. It just, by the time everything is all dry and done, it just kind of looks like just a lighter red splatter. So I'm okay with it. But I hit it with my heat tool so that I could then do the other side so that both sides coordinate. They're not identical by any means, but they coordinate in that they have all of the same elements. And then, you know, it's mixed media, so I had to bring another element in there in terms of different media, and I really wanted some type of fabric or lace or trim, and that's exactly what I did. So that trim was just from my stash, and I pulled out my hot glue gun, glued it down, and I think it adds a nice softness to it, if you will. And then these little words, let me see, they are the Halloween themed. They are clipping stickers from Tim Holtz. And if you guys have never seen these, they're amazing. He has Christmas ones, he has all season ones, but the Halloween ones, of course, are my favorite. And you just pull them off and you create your own sayings, you create your own story. And in the end, you'll be able to pause it and just kind of read the story that I created. And so here I am taking a well, it's not a Sharpie, but it is a black felt tip pen. And I'm going around the circle itself, the die cut circle, and each one of the sentiment strips, and just adding some dimension. I tried to use white, but my gel pen just didn't want to work, and I felt like black kind of framed them even better because it has that dark romantic, almost a dark academia look to it. So that is what I did, and you can kind of see it from a larger aerial view. Look at what looks like coagulated blood. Isn't that the best effect? Oh my gosh, I can't. And then I added just a little bit of ribbon and a twine to the top. And of course I wanted to add some charms. So pulled out all of my charms and went through them. I found some amazing skulls and that skeleton hand that I have adhered to the card base or to the tag base itself. If you have not read the story that I created, it'll make sense once you see it where it's next to. So those are my charms at the top. There's a little bit of love and a little bit of skeleton. And here's where you can pause it and just read the story she quickly digs with her skeleton fingers at my chamber door. So the skeleton hand I thought was perfect there. And there you can see how the back just really coordinates with the front without being identical, and it does not have to have a feature or a focal point because it is the back. And there is my project, guys. So make sure that you hop around and you see all of my crafty friends projects. They're amazing. We are doing premieres, so if you're not catching the premiere, know that that was what was going on when each video was released. And this is a different hop. I've not done one like this before, but I'm really having a good time, and I'm loving making new friends and doing something different. And I'm in love with this graphic that my sweet friend Tracy created. This is Valloween, and again, these are all my crafty friends that I'm hopping with today. So hop along. You never know with a hop. You might just find your new favorite crafter. So guys, I love you. I thank you for spending time with me. Like, subscribe, comment, and hop along. Go find some new creativity, some new inspiration. Until next time, mwah, I'm out.